Start recording. Perfect. And if you guys want to share your ideas and setups that you take, feel free to do that in the chat. Everyone should have the permissions to share links and images in there. If you already took a trade right before or with the news candle while it's still forming, all I traded this morning was so initially long right here based on the SMT divergence. So I went long on ES right here on that retracing candle. If we look at the 1 minute time frame, right here inside of those two fair value gaps, but unfortunately that would have only worked out on NQ. So I'm gonna let ES do its thing here. I'm not really looking forward to engage just yet. I'm gonna give it 15 minutes. We've just had our expansion after a consolidation here basically throughout the entire Asia and London session. Not really willing to engage right away around the 50%. So we're gonna talk a little about the London kill zone. And on NQ right over here, if we look at the 1 minute time frame, you can actually see that NQ never made that lower low again. So if we go here on the 1 minute time frame, where are we at? Right here at 3 AM after the London Open. So we reversed after taking sell side, bouncing off the midnight paired with the VWAP. But NQ actually ended up holding that lowest value gap and had an easier time to run out its highs again. Yes, this morning really wasn't willing to go somewhere. So we had the bullish SMT divergence at the low, ending up with bearish SMT divergence at the high before retracing back to the VWAP paired with our bullish fair value gap and inversion fair value gap right here. Continuing higher to take out the next short-term high. And while ES is moving higher right here, NQ started to fail to continue higher. So that's why we have double SMT divergence, if we want to call it that. We retrace back into our fair value gap right here. And we keep on holding here, really going nowhere at all, while NQ is already playing somewhere up here. So NQ really had that expansion I was looking for in ES. But that's what it is sometimes. And besides that, I've been in a long after a while. I think on my not take profit trader, on my funding pips account, it actually managed to hit this level and fill 2 out of 3 of my profit targets up here, because it's a CFD account and not a futures account. The take profit trader accounts, they all got stopped out at break even. And other than that, I didn't trade anymore in here. I started to engage again right around here on this bearish fair value gap because I had all these equal lows to target. Took a partial right here, partial at the midnight level, and left the rest running to get eventually stopped out at break even. That's what eventually happened. We reversed back up, taking the short-term high. Then the 8:30 unemployment claims news candle, comes around, takes the stops, and we rally to the upside. Can't really call this our last manipulation anymore. Let's take a look at where NQ is currently sitting at. In terms of the bigger picture, also around the 50%. We've got a question. Yeah, right here around the 50%. Let me remove some of the London drawings that won't be necessary. At least right now, SMT with NQ, that's pretty clear. SMT divergence, I don't really need that anymore in our chart. Let's leave it on there. Sell side liquidity cleared, sell side liquidity cleared. This inversion fair value gap we closed below, but then use it as resistance to continue lower into Asia sell side. That one's too small. This inversion fair value gap actually ended up holding price here. Of course, we had to wick below it, potentially hitting stops, but well, it's a news candle. That's what we would expect. Bearish fair value gap right here. Now also a inversion fair value gap. An old inversion fair value gap right here, but we're so far up. I'm not sure if that's really gonna matter. If we take a look at the higher time frame, we took all the 5-minute time frame short-term high buy side that I marked out here above the 50%. That's all cleared. From that beautiful sell-off that we saw yesterday during the PM session. So all that buy side has been taken. That next target we would be looking for before we make it up anywhere higher towards the previous day's high, if we do, of course, would be sitting right here at 4927.25. We have a 5-minute bearish fair value gap up here as well. So our last level of defense for bears before we continue through the previous day's high. Bearish fair value gap. Let me check that question here quickly and have a little sip of my tea. Not really a fan of tea because it's boiling hot, and every time I try it, I tend to burn my tongue. Don't like that. So I wait until it's cooled. Let's see. 1 hour NQ. Right, nice. Good job, Bongo Rambo. Are you still in that long on ES and in Q? Because it looks like it did the majority of the move without you. Just by looking at the pictures. Main part, I wanted to update the 1 hour time frame here quickly. Let's put all these drawings into my 5-minute folder. Hide that quickly. Put the ICT all-in-one up in here. Why do I have to? Let's get rid of that one. 1 hour fair value gaps. Filled in that one yesterday, so I'm gonna get rid of that. That's a 1 hour fair value gap above current price action. Let's extend that out. If we want to continue to go higher, let's take a look at the volume profile where we actually reacted from looking at the volume profile of the entire week to the highest point. We see that, yeah, up until this point, we had the majority of the volume sitting right here at the low. That's where we could anticipate, well, big traders to step in and protect their long positions. Well, all we got really was a retracement into these volume inefficiencies right here. You see that blank space? Let me hide the ICT all-in-one. Let's extend that out over to 8. No inversion fair value gap. We used to hold resistance throughout the entire London session right here on this 1 hour fair value gap. Now actually a inversion fair value gap. Didn't end up holding this one, is clear, so I'm not gonna leave it on the chart. No fair value gap right here. Perfect delivery. Theoretically, those 3 up closing candles is what we would consider our breaker block. We could use the opening of this candle to, yeah, mark it up as a potential breaker block. I mean, using the wick low, for my liking, that would just be too big. That's when I use the opening and closing prices of candles. Let's put all these into the 1 hour folder. So then nice and easy, accessible for us. Right here, the volume profile for the entire week up until the drop. That's when, yeah, buyers started getting back involved or engaged. Interesting. Now we're continuing to push back to the upside. We have buy side up here. We're also getting closer towards the end of the month. It's already the 25th of January. So if you think about the monthly candle, this is the current high of the monthly candle. Because all we've already done during January was, well, initially move lower and then take out lows and eventually continue higher. That real confirmation for me that we're gonna continue lower is if we would really start to take out these lows, and even then, all we could be doing is simply fill out some of these inefficiencies right here with barely any volume on that higher time frame. Similar to what we did here, where we took buy side, reversed, taking short-term lows, and we've covered this entire thing live. So on the 1st of January, I shared my analysis and what I think is very likely going to happen. We looked at the IPDA 20 range on the daily time frame for the entire year. That's what we work with, and we saw this nice inefficiency right here within the volume profile. And eventually that's exactly where we reversed from, so that was nice. Let me get rid of these lines, don't need them right now. Now we could end up doing the same. We don't have SMT divergence on the higher time frames between ES and NQ. We just tested our highest 1 hour time frame bearish fair value gap, and so far we didn't close above the hourly breaker block. I think that's all I need to know right now. Let's put that into the hourly. Take a quick look at the 4 hour time frame. Right here we have a 4 hour bearish fair value gap that could be inverted in 16 minutes because we have a new 4 hour candle opening at 10 p.m. We kept on holding this bullish fair value gap here on the 4 hour time frame. Well, it's going to be interesting if we close above that. That price level would be 4909. Easy to remember. And on the daily, could be looking at 50% of that wick. It's usually interesting if we already see such a nice wick or doji. We've already hit that around the same area where our 1 hour breaker block starts. 15-minute time frame. Let's tidy all that stuff up. That's usually how I do my top-down analysis. Not too complicated, using fair value gaps to frame my bias. Relative equal low sell side. Five-minute time frame. So now every time when I want to pull up my hourly time frame analysis, all I have to do is hover over to the object tree and turn it on and off. Otherwise, I'm going to be focused on my 5-minute analysis, where I store all my trades and executions on the chart. That's also why I'm using the ES1 chart. Let's see if we have questions. Is my tea cold enough? No, that's not. Yeah, I agree with you, Omar. It's not the easiest price action right now, or at least where we're currently sitting at. New York opened right here. Let's take a look at our beloved regular trading hours opening gap. Mark out the 8:30 open. Higher time frame power of 3. We can also put that on our chart. I usually use the 1 hour time frame. Yep. There we go. So this is our opening gap. That's where New York closed yesterday, and that's where we opened up. I think I mentioned that yesterday too, that we have earning seasons right now, where earnings reports are published. For example, Tesla's earnings report was published yesterday just after the market close at 4 p.m. New York time, and also pre-markets stuff is going on, insider trading and stuff like that. And well, we already looked forward to see a more volatile overnight session, and I think we've seen that. Now that the market is open and open with a relatively big gap, we're looking at roughly 20 points. Eye measurement. We'll see if this won't just end up being a fake pump and dump. I mean, we've already spent enough time right here, theoretically distributing. Now we're starting to, but it's not easy to tell. So actually that Asia session low is exactly where our regular trading hours opening gap ends. So if we take a look at that, hide all my drawings, this is where that gap is coming from. If we just look at the regular trading hours, and usually we tend to fill in these gaps before we continue in a other direction. So in this way we could also argue that we have just filled in this gap and now open with a new gap. It's gap theory is interesting, but you can also see that we have a couple of unfilled gaps here on our entire move to the upside. For example, this one right here, but that should be a rollover gap where we switch contracts. Recently we had very generous PM sessions. Yesterday as well. Really something. I mean, we took what did we do? On yesterday's live stream we shorted right just while going with the flow right on this candle into more sell side liquidity, and then we got in long right here on this bullish fair value gap. Where are my drawings? Right here into buy side liquidity, 10 points. Afterwards we actually pointed out the area, the make or break area, bullish fair value gap paired with inversion fair value gap. We ended up holding, continuing higher, and note how we continued higher. First push, second push, third push, you could even call it a fourth push, and then we started to shift structure. If you're one of those people always waiting for that retracement into the highest fair value gap, I'd say 7 out of 10 times you're just going to end up missing out, because at this point in time volume and traders are trapped up here. If they would offer them a chance to get back into this area, they could get out at break even, which would mean less money for market manipulators. So that's something that changed for me. Once I see that market structure shift, I just enter with market. It's really not that much of a difference if I enter with market price right here, or if I wait for the retracement. I can always add more size on the retracement. But yeah, eventually shifted structure, continued lower, and then pretty much used every bearish fair value gap to continue lower for the entire PM session. And then the market closed at 4 p.m. right here, pulled back a little before the new daily candle opened up, leaving that higher time frame wick. And then we started to consolidate, go sideways. 8:30 news, pumped to the upside, taking out all these short-term highs. And now we're starting to retrace. In 5 minutes we get that new, no, in 10 minutes we get the new 4-hour and 1-hour candle. That's going to be interesting. I would be waiting for that, because right now, well, you could go short, to target this inefficiency right here. Liquidity void, kind of. Targeting the regular trading hours opening gap, targeting a retrace to the VWAP. Or you could go long, but your stop loss would have to be pretty wide. But I think, at least for me, don't feel like engaging on it. All my accounts are already in profit from the shorts and the longs I took during London. Unless I see a good opportunity, I don't have to give that back. Let's see. Now get to the questions. ICT would be a nice sell already. Yeah, likely. But he might also even have been stopped out already. Right, just this morning. While waiting for the London session setups, I actually ended up watching his streams and just skipping through it, wondering which trades he took. He actually took a trade on ES, I think, yesterday. Not sure if it was yesterday or Tuesday, but, well, execution-wise, I've seen better. And if you saw anyone on Twitter mentioning that, well, someone is out to hunt ICT's stops, well, question is who and why. Those are paper trading stops. They're not actually part of the real order flow. I could go long right here with 1,000 contracts. Yeah, you think that's being registered in any one system, that someone just entered long with 1,000 contracts? I don't think so. So that entire argument doesn't make sense. Of course, it's a great excuse. You're so popular and have so many viewers that, yeah, your stops are just targeted, even though they're just paper stops. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Why would anyone target a paper stop? Let's put mine right here. Theoretically, it should be registered. I'm, of course, not saying that ICT is bad, but eventually, well, we will see if he proves himself this time with the Robbins Cup. But if you've been around long enough, you haven't heard that for the first time. Not saying that the concepts don't work. Might be contradictive. Me saying that, yeah, ICT might not be as legit. With that, I mean that some people are just better teachers than executioners. I guess that's what you would call it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, eventually it's you making the concepts work and not ICT. ICT shared the knowledge. You shared his research, and what you do with it is going to be unique and, yeah, different. In the end of the day, yeah, making it work for yourself. Otherwise, well, theoretically, wouldn't all ICT traders instantly be profitable getting those prop firm payouts after learning the secret? Yes, Omar. New home sales in 6 minutes. Well, I'm up 25k, 37k. Let's see if they come out to hunt me, agent. I'm on the radar. Yeah, it's Lambo time. Yeah, Omar, to get back to your question, that tea is good. Still 5 minutes until the news candle, new 4-hour candle, and new 1-hour candle. That's what I like to regard as the super macro. It's really the only new 4-hour candle opening during the entire AM session. The next one happens, yeah, during the PM session. So I think that's interesting. Lots of volume from higher time frames likely entering that market at the time. So it's not just a regular 8 to 9 a.m. macro where only a 1 hour candle opens up. It's also, yeah, a 4 hour candle opening. My entry long was right here. So we took that sell side. Actually, yeah, took all that sell side. Perfect bounce off the midnight level. I know we had a bearish fair value gap here, but I saw the potential for that V-shaped recovery if I replay it here and drop it down to the 1 minute time frame. I've entered long on these fair value gaps, slowly scaling into the position, really looking for that V-shaped recovery to the upside. But unfortunately, it continued lower and stopped me out below the slow. Actually, on NQ, it did the exact same thing, but yeah, holding support right here, never doing what ES did right here. So a bit unfortunate. Then ended up with bullish SMT divergence. Decided to re-enter. Let me see on which candle. Right around here, I added the majority of my position size and a little feeler right here based on this volume imbalance. So price continuing higher while NQ was already spending time above buy side liquidity. Retrace, but still respecting VWAP and bullish fair value gap paired with inversion fair value gap, so I wasn't really worried. Take profit target right at the SPY side. On my TPT account, I didn't get filled at buy side, but on my funding pips account, we actually managed to, so with the CFD contract, we actually managed to hit that buy side, and I got filled with 2 out of 3 positions. Then it retraced, came back, printed equal lows, went back up, failed, and then I got in right around 7:30, right around this time, seeing that it failed another time, leaving behind a bearish fair value gap. Decided it was worth the risk. Immediately got rewarded for it. Afterwards, yeah, I don't trade news, not a fan of that. Oh no, I think they're coming for me. I saw that someone is up 70k. Please take that with some humor. Germans are known for their, yeah, big sense of humor. Yes, I'm German. Was geht? Hello, SMC. Well, holding this trade is kind of pointless. We get the new 4 and 1 and new home sales news candle in just around 1 minute. Nice, good job. Very good job. No, not really a big car guy. At least not yet. I mean, I like nice cars, but I'm not that person to spend or, yeah, start going into debt just to drive a big car. Oh my, SMC Dungeon went short on NQ, 1 minute time frame. Yeah, NQ once again with a much cleaner setup, even if we look at the 1 minute time frame. I mean, here on ES we never really took out that pre-New York Open high. On NQ we pushed up higher, leaving behind SMT divergence, and just before the New York Open we ended up pushing to the upside one last time, taking buy side. So now we have SMT divergence at the highs, immediately rechecked with the 9:30 open. Of course, you could argue that we already took some sell side and this could be a fake out move to the upside. But yeah, well, there's always two sides of the coin. You likely won't find many opportunities where it's yeah, where the odds are 99% for one specific direction, you can always argue for, yeah, the counter trade, but leaving behind this fair value gap, scaling around that, it eventually continued lower. Or you total soup it and get in short at the high. But that depends on your style of risk management. Good job, SMC. I'd say having a good higher time frame bias, Omar. How would you get that entry? Higher time frame bias. Okay, we just pumped up. I want to see the New York Open retrace into the inefficiency, and yeah, well, then you have SMT divergence that pump back above one last time, and you just take the risk with good risk management. You don't go in YOLO shorts all in right here. I mean, that would be pointless, but you can give it some room to breathe, adjust your amount of contracts that you enter with, and if you're wrong, you're simply wrong. But yeah, then you just have to do it often enough with a healthy win rate. If everything lines up, and over time with good risk management, you end up being profitable. It's less about knowing that it's exactly gonna play out like the way you think it's going to play out. It's more about the risk management part. I mean, eventually you don't really have much to say. You just have to be open enough to take that risk. And, well, risk is always defined by how you manage that risk. I mean, you could enter that with one micro contract just to, yeah, get a feeling for it. And that's something that's, yeah, pretty hard to backtest. I used to be really big on backtesting, wanted a solid, yeah, track record. I think we already hit the new. Okay, so there was actually no significant news impact. That's why I don't, yeah, really care about orange photo news, to be honest, at all. New home sales, who gives a shit? I only worry about red photo news or, yeah, anything FOMC related orange photo news. If an FOMC member is speaking, for example. Still have a way to go to fill in that regular trading hours opening gap. Yeah, Omar, I have my eye on that too. The only real discount or inefficiency we have right up here would be this bearish volume imbalance on the 5-minute time frame. See if we actually have that on the 15-minute as well. No, not really. And so far we've been respecting it here. Let's check out what NQ is up to. NQ keeps on heading lower, almost having filled in that entire, inefficiency. While yes is still holding above the 9:40 a.m. low. Yes, it's really worth, paying attention to the volume imbalances. And if you've never done that, just use the ICT all and go to multi-time frame volume imbalances. Go down to the settings of the multi-time frame volume imbalances. Right here, select the time frame you're on or a higher time frame. Select the most recent 10 volume imbalances and they automatically get displayed until they are filled. And if you go over to the setting right here saying extend all volume imbalances, they actually get extended. Most recent 10 volume imbalances, and you start to notice that the majority of the volume imbalances the cluster of volume imbalances are being created during consolidations. We have a 1 hour bullish fair value gap down here now. So I could see the reason, or we could start to argue that we're potentially going to continue lower. The question is from where, like always. We have a bullish fair value gap right here on the 5 minute. It's the only one so far since the 9:30 open. We have our regular trading hours opening gap. Bullish fair value gap. NQ bounced here, at least a little. Let's see. Get rid of all this buy side. It's just distracting, throwing us off. You have a 0.01 short on. NQ bouncing here. Want to see if we can eventually close below these inefficiencies that we left behind. I mean, we already repriced them, respected them, but I want to see them failing before I try to get a short here. Would you consider a short? Well, I would prefer a cleaner setup. I mean, right now we're just chopping. There's really no setup in here, at least on ES. On NQ, I think that short opportunity has already presented itself. Right with the 9:30 open. Now it's starting to look more like a potential reverse. I mean, lower lows, lower highs, market structure shift. Bounce off the VWAP, having filled in this 8:30 a.m. inefficiency after taking sell side and filling in inefficiency. It's continuing back up to take buy side again. All these lower highs right here. And maybe even pushing back above the high of the day after having retraced, likely having hit the 50% of the entire daily range. Let's check. We've been looking at this. Repricing into a discount, bouncing off the VWAP. That's why I always have the VWAP on my chart, no matter what some ICT fanboy might tell me. I mean, come on. Entire London session, we just played around the VWAP. Bullish SMT divergence with NQ here. Yeah, potentially. Nice bullish volume imbalance above the high. NQ is not yet showing that same level of strength. Yeah, let's see if I'm too late here. Just trying a higher risk. Yeah, got filled. Let's see. In terms of stop loss, giving it 5 points. target that next buy side. Those are my high risk long entries, or my aggressive long entries based on a volume imbalance closing above buy side liquidity. That just confirms, or well, I anticipate continuation of that level. And that volume imbalance tells me that order flow, at least right now, is more bullish than it is bearish. Let's see if that actually holds up or ends up being true. We'll see. There's no certainties in trading, no matter how hard you try to find or search for them. Q is also pushing, but yeah, right now SMT divergence. Let's see if ES wants to continue and potentially take out that next buy side target. We have that bullish SMT divergence at the lows. Could also be a trap for longs, because we want to retrace deeper. Get them trapped one last time before continuing lower. Always a possibility. We could check out what's going on the 15 minute. 15 minute is going to close in 3 minutes. We filled the fair value gap. Now let's check out what's happening on the 1 minute time frame. So we just hit buy side, left behind a doji. Now we're inside a bullish fair value gap, starting to retrace a little harder than I would personally prefer or anticipate. Let's see if we end up holding that highest bullish fair value gap. Retraced. So by the time of this candle closing, I want to see this volume imbalance remaining open, so I want to see a up closing candle. If I don't, I'm gonna exit early. Yeah, Bongaramo, that's always the question. And it's always you asking them, are we gonna hard sell? It's always that good timing, especially if we are at new highs. But just wait for the setup and you don't have much to worry about. Otherwise, I stick with the short-term bias. And that would have also indicated yesterday when you should start considering taking shorts. It didn't tell you to go short right here. It's respected all the bullish volume imbalances, fair value gaps, breakers, continued higher, higher, higher. Now it shifted for that first time. Continuing lower, continuing lower. Right here, it told you what it wants to do. Before that, that's just blindly shorting. That, yeah, requires some serious skills. So 1 minute before this candle is going to close. Let's see if we can get that bounce and leave the volume imbalance open. We already rebalanced this bullish candle here on the 5 minute time frame. That's also, that next candle is going to be a new 15 minute candle. A new 15 minute candle opening. 5 minute movement to the upside at 10:05 has already been repriced and delivered efficiently. Not leaving behind a inefficiency. A bullish fair value gap is what I mean with that. Always a good sign to see, especially if we leave that volume imbalance open. Be some nice confirmation. I'm wondering if all the non-members can actually send messages in here. Let me check that, because I haven't seen that many. Send messages, yep. Community. No, I can't. But now you can. So, guys, feel free to share your thoughts in here if you want to. So we closed it in. Yeah, let's see what it looks like on the 1 minute time frame. But we're still respecting the fair value gap, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Check out NQ. NQ keeps on pushing higher. Don't see the reason why I should. Further on, hi, nice to see you. Yeah, sorry guys, I thought that's already enabled and you guys are just too shy to message, but, well, Made double sure and checked. This morning when I woke up, I immediately, felt my sore throat. Hope I don't have COVID. Fuck me, that would really be something after that stupid flight. Already felt uncomfortable sitting in that airplane. I can tell you that much. People coughing all over the place. Not that I'm paranoid or something, I don't really care, but I prefer to stay healthy. And some fuckword means to, sit in an airplane while he's sick and coughing all over the place. Go fuck yourself. No respect for that. Yeah, next time private chat. Definitely. What I do with this 1 hour fair value gap, we already had it on our chart. Just because we filled it in doesn't mean I'm immediately thinking short of this fair value gap. If price action doesn't show me that it's, let's say, for example, invalidating structure on the 1 minute time frame or closing back below this volume imbalance, which so far has been nicely respected. The real confirmation for shorts for me would be to close below this bullish fair value gap, but just because we entered an area where it could potentially reverse doesn't mean it's actually going to do that. I mean, we could be pushing through all of this without even a sign of a reversal. No worries. I don't take it as a dig against my bias. My bias can shift real quick. I don't really think it's an issue. I mean, I'm quick to enter and even quicker to exit, and that's how I can really, I don't know, I used to double down and average into trades and do all that sort of stuff, but I know it always felt like I'm forcing something, and with that approach I'm more flexible. I have my higher time frame bias, but that doesn't mean I cannot go against my higher time frame bias, and that higher time frame bias still has a pretty good probability of around 50 to 60% to be wrong out of 100 times. So why should all my trades be based on my higher time frame bias that can be faulty? So you basically, in order to be profitable, you have to sort of guess or anticipate the right direction on the higher time frame and then act based on that on the lower time frame. Depends on your style and what you prefer to do. I like to use both. If I have a bearish higher time frame bias, it doesn't mean I can scalp a couple of points in the long direction. Just have to be more careful and not looking for the ultimate reversal long, because I know on a higher time frame it could just end up being a little pullback. So I look for low-hanging fruit targets, usually move my stop to break even, and that's about it. Yeah, well, Omar, I feel you, what you're saying here on the 1 hour time frame, but if you flip it on its head, you're saying that we hit an OTE entry based on this PD array. Well, we've already hit a OTE entry based on this PD array. So who's to say that, well, this PD array optimum trade entry even counts, because we're in an uptrend. We haven't made a proper lower low yet on any higher time frame. We only have seen up closing daily candles. Who's to say that we didn't retrace to the ICT fib retracement where we had no other way around? If we look at the entire weekly range, we perfectly hit the 61.8, is it? Red. Now that's actually the OTE entry, 70.5. So who is here to say that well, we are in a 1 hour bearish value gap, and there's the OTE entry that it has to be right. Otherwise, price was just ping-ponging between OTE entries and never specifically go into one direction. That's, yeah, my issue. Of course, I understand why it could reverse here, but I'm not glued to the fact that it has to. I can react if it shows me the signs that it's going to reverse from here, and I can, yeah, also anticipate higher prices from here, like I'm doing right now. Going to move my stop to the low of the 1 hour. You were talking about the one right now. Sorry, I understood it yeah, differently. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, that's, you can always look at it from so many different perspectives. It's tricky. Yeah, because it already retraced. That the second one still has to prove itself. That it's actually going to be used as a reversal point, if you want to call it that. Note that we have a unfilled volume imbalance here. So we got towards that 50% of the 1 hour bearish value gap, and we didn't even bother retesting it. Usually what we do if we are in really bullish order flow, let me find a good example. We open up with a bearish volume imbalance, and the wick of that new candle comes back to retest that previous candle's closing price. Always happens. Sometimes we retrace a little bit deeper, but eventually, yeah, all of them are filled. But if we do not see them getting filled, it's always a interesting point of return for a potential retracement, short signal, whatsoever. Actually, a nice entry here. I wish I would have taken it on my funding pips accounts, but well, I'm fine with that. Already made some profits on them today, so gotta be content with enough. See if we can hit that buy side. Check out what NQ is up to. NQ is already above that buy side. Like always, NQ just has a much easier time to running higher. Did I actually hit record? Yeah, perfect. For the first time this week, I think. And that's also recording my voice. Yesterday, I watched the recording after uploading it to YouTube, and I realized there's no sound. Like, almost up 5 points. Did anyone take that continuation entry with me? I mean, if I would have entered with my funding pips account, I would have likely taken off some risk right here because we closed in the volume imbalance. That's, yeah, if you want to call it a playbook entry, it would certainly be in my playbook to enter long based on volume imbalances if I'm anticipating continued strong bullish order flow into specific buy-side targets. It's what I like to call my version of silver bullet setups. The timing in that scenario isn't really important for me. As long as I have a good, decent drawn liquidity and a nice volume imbalance, and I anticipate continued bullish order flow, that's all I really need. Let me check the messages. Oh, we have 17 people watching. Nice. Also took NQ short like SMC did. Nice. Good job, guys. Nice retracement, filling in the inefficiency. Perfect. Took out buy side right now. Well, we don't have SMT divergence. Let's see if price wants to come back to fill the unfilled volume imbalance. It's 25. It's on a 15-minute time frame. We have a 15-minute bearish value gap here, that highest bearish value gap before we take out yesterday's high. Mark my words, we always come back for these volume imbalances. Let's check it out on a 1-minute time frame. Unfilled volume imbalance paired with a bullish value gap. If we simply continue to make higher highs and higher lows, that's certainly where we're going to do it from. Certainly. Where's my water? I'm gonna fill up my water bottle quickly. Be back in no time. It's actually funny to be sick again. Don't even remember the last time. Usually, yeah, trying to be as healthy as I can. Working out, going to the spa, taking cold showers. Just because I don't like being sick. Lowers my performance. It's like being a high performance athlete. You can't afford being sick. Having headaches and stuff like that. And also because I love going to the spa. It's the next best thing to trading, in my opinion. As a hobby, to do weekly. It's okay. It's really not okay. Let me put in my headphones. Let's see how this trade plays out. Check out NQ here quickly. Higher, 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 low. Q keeps on pushing. Well, it depends if you make trading stressful. You know, always in a constant battle with your analysis. So let's say I'm long and all I'm doing right now is looking for reasons why it would reverse on me and hit my stop. Yeah, then it's hectic and stressful. But yeah, eventually you want to just take the trade and not really care about it. Trusting your analysis and trusting in yourself and your own skills, own ability, and being a profitable trader. There's really no secret to it. It's just you. Like everything. No one can do it for you. No mentorship you're gonna buy, no matter the price. All your results and effort, yeah, it's gonna be based on you. Your commitment. And the better you know yourself, the easier it becomes. So yeah, usually when I notice, it's a good point actually, Omar, when I notice the sensation of trading actually being stressful or hectic, well, that's always a good indication, like a stopping sign or a dead-end road sign to actually stop trading. And most of the time we're all aware when we enter that stage or when we feel like that, we just don't act on it. and then afterwards we act surprised by the outcome of us not stopping. Like, oh, how could this happen? And you exactly know how it happened. It's you. Not me telling you to keep on trading or someone else, blah, blah, blah. It's you. And me, of course. I mean, I'm not preaching that I'm holy or something. Not at all. We're all humans. And what we do here with trading really goes against, yeah, most of modern society's core values and programming. Risking. You're a big risker. Usually people don't like to risk. Oh, you're gonna quit your job? What if you will not find a new job? That's risky. Oh, are you gonna, I don't know, leave the country and find work in another country and work there and, I don't know, build your family up there? Risky. Ooh. Then all of a sudden you're trying to become a profitable, consistent trader, taking risks. Yeah, as your main job. So let's see, we filled in the fair value gap and we're about to fill in a volume imbalance. We're still looking forward for it to hold, really. Let's take a look at NQ here quickly. We formed a higher high, also rejected. Let's see if we can continue higher from here. Well, I never listened to that Andrew Tate guy. Oh, yeah. Only if I saw him on Twitter by accident or on YouTube. But you don't have to watch that guy too. Know that, yeah, being a trader is not the easiest thing to do. Humans are trained to, yeah, always be wary of danger. Those are the humans, or, yeah, the monkeys that actually ended up surviving. The curious one always checking what's behind the bush, well, more likely to die than the one who's too scared to check even what's behind the bush and just hiding in its cave. Exactly. Well said, SMC Dungeon. Didn't want to continue into buy side. Let's wait for this candle to close though, otherwise my safety stop is simply gonna be hit. Follow the plan. NQ market structure shift paired with new bearish SMT divergence for the NQ traders out there. Deep talk. I love that kind of talk when it comes to trading. It's the same thing if you're attached to your P&L and your account's up $2,000, $3,000. Okay, we're stopped out here. And yeah, you kind of start to get too attached. And actually, when you start losing, you cannot manage to control it and trying to make it back and that stuff. Sorry, I lost the train of thought. 1 minute time frame. This would have actually been a good opportunity to immediately jump in with a market order long. Could have, yeah, secured some partials after 5 points. That's usually what I do. But I also on a 50k account always enter with 2 contracts. But not on these higher risk entries. So we immediately continue lower from here. Same happens on NQ after taking buy side liquidity without really giving you that entry opportunity unless you trade the 1 minute time frame, or you simply go with the flow and understand that, well, chances of this immediately being displaced and continuing to buy side are much smaller than it's simply continuing lower, following the momentum. Also note the timing, 10:30. I've pointed this out the entire last week and on all the other live streams. Not that it's specific to 10:30, it happens at every 30-minute mark between, a new hourly open. So at 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. I think it's worth paying attention to that. That's when price really likes to, well, really turn around. Yep, it's melting. Alright, there's still enough room to the downside. We still have that 1 hour bullish value gap below us. What's the time? It's 10:30. Let's check out NQ. Also melted here. One minute time frame. Let's try going short here based on 1 minute and that simple continuation lower. So we haven't really cleared major sell side liquidity here. We just retraced. It's okay, and I think 5 points perfectly at this low. So we place our buy limit right here. 4916.75, 4921.75. This is not really based on any major ICT concept. Market structure shift, retracement, not having taken out major sell side liquidity. Of course, we could keep on bouncing off here, but well, I'm not taking this trade on my funding pips account. I'm gonna leave it at that for the day with the London session profits. Seeing what I can do on that 50k TPT account. Just based on good old gut feeling. I have something to target on a higher time frame. There's 1 hour inefficiency. We just stopped respecting bullish inefficiencies up here. Checking off a higher time frame for value gap. That's when it really lets you know that the probability is there, or it exists to actually go short. Of course, you could also view the 1 minute time frame and what would have been a good entry opportunity. Kind of tough. I think NQ looked a little better here. This would have been a breaker block, and we perfectly came back to retest the breaker. See that? Higher high, higher low, higher high. We close below our lowest down closing candle here, or our most recent lower low. Close below, come back to retest it and sell off from here. You have to be quick to catch those, no questions asked. Especially if you trade the 1 minute time frame, but you should really already be used to that. It's Yeah, I'm looking for that sell side right here. Let's go back to the 5 minute. I think we should be getting a new 5 minute candle soon. That's the beginning of the hourly bullish value gap. 5-point stop loss. Acceptable risk to take. That's already the new 5 minute candle. Interesting. $1,000 daily loss limit. 3,000. Yeah. We could call it a left shoulder head, right shoulder sort of setup without really getting that market structure shift ICT 2022 model kind of setup. But we have good sell side to target. We have a higher time frame inefficiency here. We have our regular trading hours opening gap. We have our inefficiency to react from. That next confirmation for me would be the close below this bullish share value gap, continuing lower, not just seeing a wick, an immediate retracement back inside of the range, actually seeing that continuation close below. That's really what's going on in my head right now, seeing this. Of course, I could be wrong. And yeah, there's nothing wrong about being wrong. And QS actually pushing up almost all the way back above the high. That's interesting. Filled a fair value gap. Well, on the higher time frame, it's hard to even notice the market structure shift, similar to ES right here. I'm actually filled with 2 now. Interesting, but let's see how that plays out. 5-point stop loss, 4917.75 to 2.75. 2 units done. See how it plays out. Stop just above the bearish share value gap. That's nice. First take profit target at the sell side liquidity. And the other one yeah, on the 1 minute we got the 22 model, but on the 1 minute we could already argue. No, that's fine. Let's see, I have to go to the toilet quickly. Everything's already placed, so I don't have much to worry about. Let's see how that plays out. Let me quickly open my window. Let's see, 15 people still remaining. We're in the short based on a bearish fair value gap. Also on my Funding Pips account now. And what else? Yeah, if there are any questions, I'm gonna be ending the stream at 5 p.m. my time, so that's gonna be in 15 minutes. Have my target set. Let's see how it works out. Risk management is, yeah, everything. I'm not trying to all in on this trade, not expecting to have a 100% win rate. Those are really the things that, yeah, should calm you down when taking on the risk. Thinking long-term probability instead of short-term, I want to get funded today. Yeah, let's make $2,000. Yeah, you know what I mean. I never said that. Sorry guys for all the messages here. Just muted my phone. Didn't say that you should sell right now. That's up to you, your decision. I know you're not likely just making a joke. Let's take a look at NQ. Interesting. Check out the 1 minute time frame. Let's check out the time too. 10:45, so this is actually a new 15-minute candle. Interesting. Bearish engulfing on the 15, below the hourly fair value gap, inside the hourly break gap, 5-minute time frame, 1 hour time frame, 1 hour bearish fair value gap. Now let's see. Let's pull up some music. And yeah, guys, like I said, ask questions, please. Otherwise, yeah, well, the stream is gonna run until 5 p.m. I really want to rest my voice. Gonna see how this trade plays out. But unless there are any more questions, I'm gonna remain silent. Haha, bongo. What should I call you? Should I call you Rumbo? Should I call you Bongo? Should I call you with your real name? That's up to you. But always saying Bongo, that's, yeah, I don't know. Tim, nice. My best friend is actually called Tim. Tim. Nice. My name's Matt. Mattes in German. Nice. We actually managed to close below the bullish fair value gap here and the volume imbalance. I think we should be good to go lower and take at least that next target right here. So my stops at break even on my funding pips account. Yeah, sometimes it really does print nice, yeah. So we just rebalance this candle. I would prefer this candle not closing back above the inversion fair value gap. That would really be something. NQ is not showing that weakness yet, but I don't care what NQ is doing. I'm only focused on ES, because ES tells me what it's going to do likely. Already moved my stop, so I lowered my risk here. I mean, yeah, we took sell side, but that's not really the sell side that I wanted to see before taking on that risk. I secured a small partial here at the VWAP on my funding pips account. Good thing to do. But I would prefer this candle closing below this inversion fair value gap paired with the volume imbalance. That's my perfect scenario. Yeah, I mean, it could do that. To be honest, I don't really care what NQ is doing right now. Not making money with it. Yes, put on good mute music, and then there's really nothing to worry about. I mean, yeah. Grateful for every second that I can spend with you guys, on the Discord, streaming live here. Really appreciate that, and being able to trade. What's everybody's favorite kind of music? I'm curious. Of course, listening while you're trading. For me, it's classical music. I never thought that I'm gonna enjoy classical music, to be really honest. Back in school, used to be really annoying. But yeah, far out, I love it. Going to take one partial here. Sound of my voice. I like that. Stop at break even. Not really worth it giving something back here, in my opinion. We've already done that once, and we're getting closer and closer to the, we're already inside the 1050 to 1110 macro. I would expect the slow to be run by 11 a.m. with the new hourly candle. What I could see, nice volume imbalance, what I could see going forward though is that we just might get a new hour manipulation into the fair value gap here on the 1 hour. So during the first 10 to 15 minutes usually. Trapping shorts one last time. Then maybe spending some time around here before, like yesterday, continuing higher during PM. But so far that head and shoulder AM session setup played out nicely. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Like I always say, I like to combine common sense, the stuff I learned before. I learned ICT, classical charting patterns, support and resistance as confluence. Not as my main confluence, but as confluence. For some reason, every time we touched the VWAP, we didn't really manage to pull through with it. Of course, you could find another reason why we're bouncing off here. maybe there's a fair value gap on the 30-second time frame, but it's much easier arguing that we have the VWAP as obstacle. Eminent rep, but while on the chart, I just like to be silent with my thoughts or with someone that I consider better than me in trading, giving his opinion. Fair enough. Eventually, you're gonna get to that. Once you're out of the what would I call this phase again? Hang on. I found a good post about that earlier today. 3 stages traders usually go through. Discovery phase, learning phase, and the growing phase. Yeah, you can't skip phases. That's okay. And then eventually, once you learn enough from other people, best thing you can do to really speed up your journey is saying goodbye, doing it on yourself. Even if it means you fail and start blowing accounts again, but you're doing it on your own. And that's the important part. That's really what helped me. Still, you can still, like, yeah, be part of a community, but when it comes to trading, it should be just you and your thoughts. Once you learn enough, and eventually, same way for me, you will feel that I felt the same thing. Like, don't really think I benefit from learning much more from other people. One more minute to go on this candle. It's 55. New hourly candle dropping in 1 minute. SMT with NQ here. Stop at break even. I think we should already be in profit on the account. Yeah, slightly. Should I call it here and leave it, call it a session? Leave stop loss at break even? Don't like holding through new hour opens usually, but that's okay. I would almost be scary if we always would have the same idea or opinion about what price is going to do. Let's see if we close back above the inversion. And that kind of precision that I want to see here doesn't really work as well on NQ. For NQ, it's much easier to invalidate fair value gaps because it has more decimals to offer. Right now on NQ, we would be sitting at 17,113. So it's much easier for it to close one tick above, invalidate a fair value gap, and still respect it. For ES, much harder. That's why I prefer trading ES. I'm looking for that precision and not for the rough setup, and using that precision as a little edge how I can manage my risk a lot better. Nice short. Yeah, well, so for me, let's go back to the music question. Eminem rap, but while on a chart, just like to be silent. Yeah, I understand that. On some days, I prefer the silence. On some days, I enjoy listening to music more. When I started, I also never listened to music, but I don't know, eventually, I think that's stage, depending on which phase you're in. Sometimes it really helps calming me down, especially classical music. See that inversion right here? Perfect. I didn't see the close above, no reason for me to take the exit with the new hour. Old support, turn into resistance. Now let's see if we can deliver into these equal lows and this set of equal lows and retrace into our higher time frame and efficiency. So far, everything looking good. Big giant plan. Yay. Yay. What we consider that last manipulation move, in my opinion, this move to the upside. So that's what I'm gonna base my standard deviations on. But we're still holding on up on the VWAP. Secured another partial on my funding pips account. Now 1% away from passing phase 1. It's actually a pretty cool statistic if we want to take a look at it. Take care, Oma. Until tomorrow. Hopefully I'm not sick tomorrow anymore. If we look at the entire month of January, pretty solid equity curve. And I haven't taken big risks. I always, kept my risks small. And so far, a pretty green month. No way for me to fake that. Not here to rush the challenge. I've tried to do that in December. Didn't really work. Allowed myself, or giving myself the time. Not really sure what I'm gonna do with this trade though. Kind of over it. We started at 9:30, now it's 11 a.m. That's usually my point where I start to say that I can't be fucked anymore, to be honest. Work's done. We already made profit. Initially a little loss. Exit at 4918. Entry at 4920. 0.525. Roughly 2 points. With one contract, that would be $100. On that first one, 4912. I'd exit this one, so not really much profit, but the thing is I don't like to leave positions open and see how they play out. When it's time to leave, I leave at whichever price, even if it means that I miss out on the entire short right here. Especially on these future funded accounts. And that's gonna be it for the day. Almost 1% profit. But yeah, as we continue, I still would look forward to see some reaction inside this hourly bullish share value gap. Right now we're still playing with the VWAP. I think eventually we're gonna deliver lower. I'm not gonna be here to watch it. And Q also looks more bearish than bullish, but yeah, that could quickly change. We all know in Q, we all know how volatile it can be. That's the next 5-minute candle here of the new hourly candle. Looking at the hourly, I mean, it's, in my opinion, a question of time until we start to retrace. And the question is if we're gonna hold support here, if we're just gonna break through heading lower. Good question. But I wouldn't look for the answer to that question during the lunch hour. I would start coming back at 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m., maybe 2 p.m. and see if there's a nice setup. Almost too good, yeah, I know. It's funny. Alright, guys. That's gonna be it with TradingView for me today. Trying to recover now, so I'm fit for tomorrow. So guys, thanks for sitting in here with me.